Let's take a nice, beautiful, big, deep breath in, hold it and release it, remembering, of course, that we're actually breathing in a magical energy that allows us to expand and open our hearts and our minds and connect us spiritually, allow our spirit to soar, allow our soul to be in alignment with our present, right here and right now, where we are more than enough. And we're actually asking all of our unseen helpers, our archangels, our ascended masters, our guides, our guardians, the divine, to actually be with us here as we expand our energy field, our aura, all the way out, so that we actually engulf the entire of this galaxy. And of course, we remind ourselves that the stars are so far apart and there's such emptiness, where of course there is no emptiness in between the stars, but there's a spaciousness for an extremely intelligent reason. And that's because manifestation happens in that spaciousness, and we create spaciousness in our lives. We do that by letting go of the things and the habits and also the memories and the attitudes and the people that no longer serve us. And we allow ourselves to simply float up and away, and we actually remove ourselves from anything that is getting in the way. And we ask all these helpers, these entities, energies and essences to be here with us now, to really support us and nourish us and help us to feel safe and protected. We're very secure in this harmonious, blissful state. And we know that it's in this state that we create. And we ask, what would it take for us to be extremely powerful in our self-discipline? What would it take for us to actually relax into all that we must do, all that we have to do, and all that we actually do want to do and need to do? What would it take for us to actually enjoy the process? For there to be laughter and lightheartedness? What would it take for us to find ways to simply get started and then pick up the momentum, sustain it, keep it going, reignite ourselves, provide the fuel that keeps us going, and rejoice in it all? What would it take for us to choose to do that which actually helps to brighten our day? What would it take for us to positively prime ourselves in a very conscious and deliberate way as adults, making mature decisions and choosing for ourselves something that is actually the right course of action for us as early in the day as possible? What would it take for us to actually thrive with the opportunity? And what would it take for us to actually embrace the accountability that we have? What would it take for us to truly own our power and be incredibly appreciative of the opportunity to live this magnificent life and make amazing contributions? Breathe in this superb divine life force energy and allow it to energize. Allow yourself to feel superb. Allow yourself to take the initiative. Give yourself permission to shine. Allow others to see the absolute miracle that you are on this planet at this time. Allow them to benefit from you being at your very best. Allow them to actually see your higher self. Free yourself. Give yourself permission. Step forward. Step forward with clarity and confidence. Step forward and allow it to become more clear as you move forward. Step forward and allow yourself to feel more confident as you move forward. Step forward. Step forward even before you're ready to. Step forward. And keep taking those steps, knowing that you will actually get into the groove as you move along swiftly. Ask for all of the unseen entities, energies, and essences to be with you and to help guide you. Trust and have faith. We say, what would it take for all of this to be true? What would it take for all of this to be real? And what would it take for us to actually be sincere and genuine in the way that we show up in the world? What would it take for us to be honest and reliable, loyal and extraordinary? And what would it take for us to experience peacefulness, knowing that we are actually more than enough right now, exactly the way that we are right now, for the right people who we're going to connect with for the right reasons? We ask, what would it take for us to be disciplined to focus on income-producing activities first thing in the morning? What would it take for us to be dynamic in the actions? What would it take for us to be incredibly positive and enthusiastic, incredibly optimistic in the intentions of all of these absolutely fabulous actions? What would it take for us to demand more from ourselves than anybody else could ever expect from us? And what would it take for all of it to be incredibly joyful? What would it take for us to actually sleep peacefully knowing that we actually did do our best? And what would it take for us to be gentle with ourselves knowing that we can improve again tomorrow? What would it take for us to have integrity with our word, and when we actually set a plan for ourselves, that we follow through and we follow up and we do so with this glorious open-heartedness? What would it take for everybody to know that we are incredibly special? We are exceptional at taking intentional action sooner than anybody else, more quickly, and with this incredible energy that is actually completely supported by the divine. What would it take for us to actually just feel safe? And what would it take for us to just know deep within every fiber of our being and all the cells in our bodies that all of these actions that we're taking, they have a multiplier effect, and it's all amplifying and accelerating, and it's in our very best interests? What would it take for us to be truly acknowledging that the universe wants us to step out and step forward with our shoulders back and our chin up high? They want to be able to create the ripple effect from the actions that we take. And they're demanding from us, they're asking us, they're gently nudging us towards taking those actions. What would it take for us to be richly rewarded? What would it take for there to be both intrinsic and extrinsic value in all of our disciplined actions and ways of being? What would it take for us to ensure that we have raised our vibration and we are of the highest frequency as we launch into each and every intentional action that's backed by powerful discipline? And what would it take for all the intended and unintended consequences and implications to be even better than we imagined and even better than we had hoped for? What would it take for us to rejoice in that? And let's feel the feelings right now of being incredibly grateful and so appreciative, wonderful in our thankfulness that our discipline has more than paid off. The dividends are so astonishing. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And what would it take for this discipline to actually embrace, encase all of the areas of our lives, and anything or anyone in the way of it, please delete it, uncreate it, and destroy it across all time, space, dimension, realities, and frequencies. And anything or anyone that can facilitate it with ease and grace and speed and joy, please add it, create it, and store it across all time, space, dimension, realities, and frequencies. Amen, and thank you.